The story of Prophet Ayyub, peace be upon him. In a land of sunshine and golden air, lived a man so just, so rare. He was wealthy beyond compare, with lands, herds, and children fair. But more than wealth, what made him shine, was his worship, pure and divine. Morning and night, in praise he'd rise, with grateful tears and faithful sighs. His heart was calm, his gaze was low, a river of faith in constant flow. He gave in charity, fed the poor, opened his home, unlocked the door. No pride in him, no boastful word, only the fear of his loving Lord. His tongue would praise, his knees would bend, Ayyub was God's beloved friend. The angels spoke of him above, a soul so firm, so full of love. But Iblis burned with dark disdain, and sought to bring him loss and pain. O Lord, he said, with whisper vile, Ayyub obeys you all the while, but only for the gifts you send, take them away, and that will end. The Lord, all-wise, allowed the test, to show how faith shines through the rest. So one by one, the trials came, like sudden wind, like roaring flame. His crops were struck, his camels died, his fields went dry, though once so wide. Then came the storm, a house fell in, and took his children, every kin. His heart was torn, but still he said, all that I had, my Lord had made. To him we all return someday, he gives, he takes, and still I pray. The people watched and slowly turned, their eyes grew cold, their hearts unlearned. They whispered lies, they walked away, and left Ayyub alone one day. His skin grew sore, his strength was gone, he lay in dust, from dusk till dawn. Boils on his body, limbs so weak, he could not move, nor even speak. But even then, he did not sigh, nor curse his Lord, nor ask him why. He bore the pain, he bore the heat, and turned to prayer in his retreat. His wife, so noble, stood so near, wiping his wounds, holding back fear. She cooked and cleaned, she earned each day, to keep their hunger far at bay. Once she was dressed in silk and gold, now just in cloth, so soft, so old. But her love never dinged or flagged, she kissed his hands, brought him bread. No servant stayed, no neighbor called, no friend remained, they all had stole. Still she believed, still she would pray, beside his bed, she chose to stay. She'd walk for miles, in heat and dust, with hope in God and patient trust. Her feet were swollen, hands were worn, yet on her face, no trace of scorn. Ayyub would smile, though full of pain, and thank her for her love again. She'd whisper, soon, this too shall pass, our Lord is kind, his mercy based. They lived with nothing left to sell, but still they bore their test so well. And Iblis watched, consumed with hate, he could not shape this pillar's fate. Then came a day, a moment dark, the home grew cold, the cupboards dark. The wife looked down, her heart in dread, no flour left, no loaf of bread. She wiped her tears, and stood so still, I must go now and do God's will. The cupboard bare, the fire cold, her hands were trembling, not so bold. She kissed his cheek and turned away, I'll find a way just for today. The streets were harsh, the sky was gray, no friend would help, no one would pay. She knocked on doors, received a sneer, they'd all forgotten love and fear. Then one old woman, face like stone, said, what will you sell? You're all alone. She looked away and dropped her head, I'll sell my hair, just give me bread. Her locks once long, like rivers spun, now cut and gone, beneath the sun. She held the bread with silent pride, and wiped her tears she couldn't hide. Back home she walked, with steps so slow, the weight of sorrow on her soul. She left the loaf near Ayyub's bed, and gently stroked his weary head. But when he saw her shaven crown, his eyes grew full, his smile went down. He turned away, his voice was low, who made you to this? Tell me so. She knelt beside him, held his hand, I couldn't watch you starve and stand. No one would give, they mocked our name, so I gave my hair, endured the shame. He closed his eyes, his heart was torn, for she had borne more than he'd borne. He raised his hands with trembling might, and turned to God, alone at night. O Lord of mercy, kind and near, you see our loss, you hold our tears. I do not ask to end my pain, but give me strength to still remain. The winds grew still, the stars looked down upon the woman with no crown. But in the sky, the angels wept for hearts like this, so firm, so kept. Ibli now laughed with wicked glee. At last, O Lord, he prayed to thee. But then the Lord, the all-aware, said, he asked not out of despair. He asked with love, with no demand, Ayyub remains my servant grand. Then from the earth a spring did rise, so cool, so clean beneath the skies. Ayyub was told, strike with your heel. And there appeared a stream to heal. He bathed himself, his skin grew whole, his strength returned, so did his soul. His wife returned, and gasped with joy, her husband stood, no more destroyed. His face was fresh, his frame restored, no pain remained, no wound, no sore. She dropped the breath and ran to him, and wept with joy from limb to limb. Is this a dream? My Lord, my light. He smiled and said, God ends the night. She held him close, their tears were one, for hardship fades when faith is strong. And soon, their home began to glow, with blessings pure and mercies flow. Their lands returned, their herds grew vast, much more than they had in the past. And children came, both girls and boys, with laughter loud and endless joys. The house once quiet, now alive, with sounds of hope and love revived. The people came with lowered eyes, ashamed of judgment, shut and wise. They saw the truth. Ayyub stood tall, the one who lost, but lost not all. He'd kept his Lord within his soul, and poured a test to reach his goal. For pain is part of Allah's plan, to raise the worth of every man. And as for her, that noble wife, she lived a blessed, peaceful life. Her sacrifice, her love, her care, were honored more than jewels rare. The Lord repaid, with gift and grace, and wrote their story in a place, where angels read and hearts still learn, that faith and love will always burn. The skies turned clear, the clouds rolled by, no more the moan, no more the sigh. Where once was ancient silent land, now bloomed the earth by God's own hand. The house that echoed empty walls, now danced with children's cheerful calls. The fields grew green, the trees stood proud, and joy returned without a cloud. Ayyub stood tall upon the hill, his heart serene, his soul made still. His beard was thick, his eyes were bright, no sign remained of pain or blight. His wife beside him, glowing grace, no sorrow left upon her face. Her hair had grown with silk and thread, and hope alive where tears had bled. The spring kept flowing near the door, a sign that faith unlocks much more. Not just the wounds or fevered skin, but what lies deep, unscarred by sin. And blessings fell like gentle rain, in herds and crops and golden grain. With every dawn, the bounty rose, as if the stars themselves composed. His kin returned, their shame too vast, for they had judged him in the past. They hung their heads and brought their gold, but none could buy what faith had sold. Ayyub forgave, no grudge he kept, he simply smiled, and then he wept. For those who walk through fire and sand, God holds them firm with his own hand. And people came from far and near, to hear the tale they once would fear. They saw a man not cursed, but blessed, by trials past and patience dressed. He spoke with voice both soft and wise, not every fault is pain in disguise. Sometimes, your word becomes your way, to rise again, to learn, to pray. His wealth returned tenfold, or more, yet still he slept upon the floor. For he had tasted dust and stone, and knew that only God's his own. The prophet's name now echoed strong, in hearts of right, in poet's song. And Allah praised him in his book, that all who read might stop and look. Truly we found him patient, it said, a crown of words upon his head. A servant true, with heart sincere, a legacy both bright and clear. He never once rebelled or cried, he bore his loss, he stayed inside. Not bitter, loud, nor full of blame, but silent love in Allah's name. And every soul who hears his tale learns patience makes the spirit sail. That even when all light is gone, the dawn is hidden, not withdrawn. So if your heart is worn and torn, if life has left you weak, forlorn, then think of him, the one who stood in poverty, yet filled with good. Think of the spring that rose from ground, when hope was lost and none was found. Of healing waters, clear and cool, that turned a curse into a jewel. And if you pray, then pray like he, not just for ease or being free, but with the heart that trusts God's ways, in dark nights and sunlit days. His story ends with light, not flame, yet starts with trials none could name. And that's the path the faithful tread, to now, and trust, and forge ahead. So let the world now sing his name, with love, not pity, not with shame. Ayyub, the tested, tried, and true, who lost it all yet closer grew. He wasn't spared the pain, the loss, he bore the weight, he paid the cost. But in his heart, no hate took root, he bloomed in dust, bore patient fruit. The world may shine with fleeting gold, but none surpass the faith he'd hold. No palace grand, no jeweled gate, could match his soul's unwavering state. The angels watched and stood in awe, at every tear, at every flaw. For here on earth a man had shown, how close the lowly reach the throne. His tale was told to every son, who feared the night, who faced the sun. To mothers weak, to children bare, to those in chains, to those in prayer. The poor would smile through hungry days, and sing his name in quiet praise. The sick would lift their weary head, and feel a light where pain once bled. His name became a sacred sound, wherever broken hearts were found. Ayyub, not just a tale of woe, but proof that pain helps spirits grow. It whispered this: you're never far from he who knows just who you are. Your cries are heard, your silence seen, your ache, your hope, your might have been. The poor would smile through hungry days, and sing his name in quiet praise. The sick would lift their weary head, and feel a light where pain once bled. So if you're lost, and all seems black, with burden high upon your back, then pause, and breathe, and call his name, as Ayyub did through loss and flame. Don't ask him why you bleed or fall, but say, I know you hear it all, and even if the cure is late, he'll open doors behind your fate. So ends this tale, but not its light, it shines in homes through every night. Ayyub still lives in hearts that bend, yet never break, and never end. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, leave a comment, and subscribe for more stories like this. Until next time, stay blessed.